There we go. Okay. This was my first attempt at, well, let me tell you the story here. I ordered a new piston, and when it arrived, it was not a standard bore. It was 0.5 over, it said. And so, the old piston that came out in pieces because it was bonded and fused. I had to cut the wrist pin to actually get it out. And the new piston here, I didn't realize had a bigger wrist pin than the old one. So I had it bored to fit this piston, and then realized, oh crap, my old wrist pin is too small. This is the size of the old wrist pin. This is a replacement. For the piston, it was too small, and I had to make these shims. And I made them at first out of a piece of metal. I folded around into that shape right there, right? But my wrist pin that I made, I also made this wrist pin. It walked to the side because I didn't have it tight enough in there, and I thought it was tight enough, and the retainers didn't work, so I just pushed it in there. Hi. Okay, I'm making a video on my scooter and work I'm doing.
Cool, very good idea.
I'm trying to...
You're going to move that bowl there?
No, that's fine. I'm about to take it over there, so. So yeah, this was the wrist pin I made. It probably would have worked, except that it walked off to the side, and then it began to do this number, rounded out those edges, and started making a loud ticking noise. So I shut her down, and this is my second attempt now. I made these out of these are one piece out of a piece of steel pipe that I turned on the lathe until it fit tightly in there, both sides. Let me set this down. How can I do this? Come out of there. I can get that. Come on. You bastard. 1 second. So there's what I have going now. And these are nice and tight. I had to push them in with a C-clamp. And I'm going to have to file the edges down some too. But, as you can see, I will murder a crow. So this is going to fit tightly in there. And let's go see where I'm at. Right now I'm filing the last little bit so that this will actually go in and not be so tight that it gets stuck halfway through or something. I almost got it finished yesterday, but didn't quite. Weather's not cooperating lately. But the rain's good because the air's clean. Only time the air's clean. Hey, because nobody cares that we breathe poison all day long. That couldn't possibly affect our lives. No, what could affect our lives is not having money. And those communists that are trying to take over our way of life. That's what's affected our lives. Not the air we breathe, not the food we eat. No, that's irrelevant. What matters is war and money. Those things are important. Food and air, that's just ridiculous nonsense. Let's never question it. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, this got rode, and the air filter came off, and didn't realize that so much dust and dirt was making it into the carburetor that it totally ripped up the cylinder, and the piston was just wrecked. The wrist pin was bonded to the piston. I had to break it to pieces to get it to come off, and then I had to cut the wrist pin down. Here, where am I? Trying to see where I'm at. Okay, had to cut the wrist pin down to the edges of the rod and then use a C-clamp and a socket to hold it and push it out to get it to come out. That's how seized it was. There's pieces around here of the old piston somewhere. So anyway, yeah, and there was my first attempt, but I didn't have it tight enough, and I think having that gap in there allowed it to loosen up more and wiggle out of position. But this time, it's not. I mean, you can see where the valves, were even hitting the piston, but it didn't bend a valve. And I shut her down in time. So we're going to give this a try. And will it work? I mean, what all have I done to this scooter? Let's see here. Yeah, well, with this, mainly it's just the piston thing here. Is it going to work? I think it'll work. When I press this together, these are going to slide inward, maybe a touch. I don't know. I hope they don't, actually, because that will tell me that they're locked solidly in place. I mean, it won't need retainers if this wrist pin is so tight it won't move. But if the wrist pin starts to walk, then it'll get, weaker on one side. It'll oval out the spacer and could be problems. So I'll figure out some way of retaining the wrist pin so that it doesn't walk to the side, and then we'll be running good. We'll go from a 125 to like a 140 or something. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'll make another